Get your special sock out, nerds. This gonna get good.
And I am Iron Man.
Hello, everyone. We are live talking with the one and only Kyle. What is up, Kyle?
Hey, Paul, what's going on? Thank you so much for having me on the stream. Appreciate it.
I am happy to have you on the stream. This is our first ever live stream discussing Project Naosis, and you do get an intro because everyone deserves an amazing intro. So without further ado, nice little Captain America live right there. So, I'm happy to have you on today to discuss many different things from Project Naosis to Star Wars to Marvel. But before we go into that, how was your Thanksgiving?
Oh, it was fantastic. Of course, I ate a lot. I feel like if you don't eat a lot, you're not doing it correctly. But it was a chill time, spending time with family and whatnot. So it was a good time. Hope yours was good too.
Yeah, it was really good. I had a great time. We ended up hosting, and we made a lot of different food, and definitely full, definitely excited. But now we're live, we're rolling, discussing awesome things. You've been very busy yourself recently.
Yeah.
I know you have new work that you can't showcase, but you can discuss. Do you mind telling us what that new work is?
Yes. So lately, my main projects that I've been working on are doing card art for Star Wars Unlimited and Marvel Champions. And now there will be some Star Wars Unlimited art shown on the stream today. A lot of which I haven't been able to show yet because, I have to wait until sets are released or the card art is spoiled online to be able to share anything. But luckily, I've done a lot of Star Wars cards that have been released so far that we can show here. And unfortunately, nothing that I'm able to share for Marvel Champions yet because those sets haven't come out yet. So it'll be a bit of a wait still.
And we're excited to see it. We worked on Project Naosis 1 in 2021, correct?
Yep. 4 years ago about.
4 years ago, you did 28 pages. You did a main key element in the story and killed it on the artwork. We had a fun time doing it, and that was when I was really just starting out, and it was great to have someone as talented as you to work on issue number 1.
I appreciate that.
And I'm excited to dive into that. And I would love to dive into some of your work into Project Naosis of what we did, and then we'll dive into some of the stuff you did for Star Wars and other cool things as well. So I'm going to share screens, and I'm going to pull up from where you started off with us in the remastered version, because like I said, it's a growing medium. Like, I'm making books, I ended up remastering these when we did the trade paperback, and the work that you put in, even though you're like, hey, it's 4 years ago, is literally outstanding. So you start from this main perspective in 2095, showcasing our Project Naosis unit, and your artwork is absolutely stellar. The way that you're able to make backgrounds along with the art, super impressed all the way through. I know it's been a long time since we've dove into something like this, but what is usually like your thought process as you're drawing pages for interior comic pages? Like, how does that usually go for you?
So it's usually the same process that goes for any type of piece of art that I'm doing, whether it's a comic or a single piece or a cover. I start with the rough thumbnails, laying out the ideas, where things are placed, kind of like a storyboard. And that term makes more sense when referring to doing thumbnails for a comic because there's multiple panels on pages most of the time. So yeah, that's the first step. And then, that goes through a process of back and forth between, myself and the writer, you, or like myself and the art director, no matter what project I'm working on. And then that gets approved. And then I go to the clean pencils and then same thing, show that for approval, So that's the time any changes, if needed, are made to it, and then that gets approved, and then I go to clean inks, which is an essential step to get the artwork ready for colors last, and all the last minute final touches.
Now, when you were doing Project Naosis, you did really well with setting up each character and giving them their own dynamic look, in a sense of, you're taking designs from a previous artist, Corey Hampshire, and then you're putting your own spin on it, your own flavor, because you really do have a very signature look. And that's why I'm excited that you do trading cards and things like that. I feel like it really pops. Do you remember how, you took on these panels? Like, this was like the first page, or maybe the second page we worked on. We did things a little out of order, but you were showcasing each character. Do you remember anything going through Project Naosis 1, like characters Lithium, Thorn, Hellsate Hybrid, or Prince Euro?
Yeah, I do remember. I think you're right, this was the first page that I drew for episode 1. And I remember, I believe I was using character concept designs from Johnny Morrow, who has also done a lot of work on Star Wars Unlimited as well. I remember a good number of these character designs. He did those early concepts, so I was referencing those a lot when drawing these pages.
And you definitely put your own flavor on it. I love the emotion that you put on Hybrid's mask. We're really keeping that tone through. And then each character you're seeing, I guess when we first started, I guess I was a little more language heavy, but you definitely did bring it to that next level, like just showcasing each person, how Lithium has the peace of mind, Victor, smoking, getting ready to get that rush, Hellsate examining her fire, Hybrid preparing for battle, and then we have the nice arrogant Prince Euro ready for action. And it was a simple task. It's Project Naosis. They have to go into an enemy base, showcase their skills, and they're going to eliminate enhance that are a threat to the United League of Nations. And it's basically these pages, super cool. You're showing the dynamic between everyone and as they're approaching, and I absolutely love it. Like, this is one of my favorite pages, as you have Thorn, jumping into what is like this base for the Pain Patriots, because in Project Naosis, a villain named Crimson Pain kills off all the superheroes in existence. And this is 5 years from that moment. And now we find out that Crimson Pain has some sort of a rebellion led by this woman right here, that's at least in this area, called Banshee. And you absolutely killed it on this. Like, your facial expressions are killer, and just the emotion.
Thank you very much.
I know it's 4 years ago and how much you've improved since then too, which is even crazier. But this artwork is next level.
Thank you. Yeah, 4 years went by fast. It really did.
Now, this is a great scene, like Lithium showing how powerful he is, because he really wants to showcase his strength with his brother, that he can lead the unit. And when he blasts Banshee, I have them all been taken on, and we set this up so nice because this is a page turn for everyone that wouldn't know. I think that took her out. Wait, Banshees, and you see Banshee approach. She's in the shadow. You're anticipating that page turn, storytelling 101, and when she explodes out, just showcasing her is so sick. This is one of my favorite pages as well, especially how you do the energy and, like I said, the dynamic faces. It really pops all the way through each issue. And Prasad, of course, coloring it brings it that next level as well.
Oh yeah, Prasad's colors are top tier. Really, really well done.
So yeah, we have Lithium here taking on Banshee, showcasing her power, because this is something that, what's great for having someone that Prasad can do, like how he can make it like look like it's vibrating, from your original lines and inks that he did.
Effects. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't even know that was possible when I first made a comic book, but I've learned with doing things with Prasad, as well as Prasad was growing, for him to do things like this, it really set it up really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% agree. And sometimes adding those little effects at the end can really enhance the art that much more as well.
Yeah, it's absolutely stellar. I love the setups. We did a lot of splash pages. The main thing is, like, it was fun. We had a fun time making this book. I definitely feel like we killed it on this. It really sets up everything that we need to know. Another great splash page, showing the telekinetic energy from this new character Rifter that plays a key plot in future issues, just manhandling Prince Euro. And I wanted to make sure, like, doing scenes like this, like, you're drawing a scene, you're putting so much energy into it, like, it has to mean something, right? So like, when this character gets injured from versing this character, like, it's felt through issues, so Love that. Love this panel too. Very dynamic, showcasing Thorns, just a super badass. He has spike projectiles and taking a cannon head on. Super cool, man. Second issue I've ever done, and I couldn't have been more happier with the product. Like especially like, how you're set up all the panels. Cause I know for sure I wasn't like, hey, like make sure this is a square panel. This is all you just going fresh off your mind on different perspectives on the majority of this stuff. So how does that process work? Like when you want to choose, like, for example, you get a script and it's like him stuck holding the bow, right? And it's like him stuck holding the bow. And then how do you choose that angle? Like what is that thought process for you?
Well, it guess it really varies on, it depends on what's already been done. One thing I remember learning about doing panel layouts is to always vary your perspectives and angles as well as the panel shapes. They shouldn't all be like rectangular or have straight edges. A lot of these pages I've taken one edge of the panel and slanted it, or sometimes taken multiple sides of the panel to slant them to create like a diamond shape, sort of. And that all, I think, makes the pages more interesting visually. But this panel here, I thought doing it from the side would, one, make room effectively for the speech bubble in there. Because that's another thing that you want to keep in mind, especially when laying out the pages, is you got to make room for where the speech bubbles are going to go. Because that was a mistake I used to make early on when I first started doing comics. I would sketch the layouts and then without considering where the speech bubbles were going to go. So then I'd have to shift things around and make adjustments to accommodate that. But yeah, I think it really all depends on the actions and the scenes leading up to that moment that help me determine, oh, this is the perspective I want to show this scene from, or this specific moment from.
Like even this page, it's Lithium. He's blasting Rifter, takes out Banshee. He blocks it, absorbs it. You see Prince Laro fly down, shows you that motion, instantly brings you, like, with your artwork, you can tell the story without looking at the words, and that's really what makes a great artist from a good artist, So
thank you.
Going through and then pushing forward, we get to the next scene. Love the action scenes. This is another one of my favorite panels when you have three Pain Patriots, all saying endure the pain, and have this character Thorn come out and basically just take out all of these enemies, and then we are on to the next. It really flows really well. This is in a Project Naosis episode 1, which is also featured in our trade paperback, where you can get the full story, and Kyle absolutely kills it on 28 pages of it. This is when you had Hellsate and Omega appear. So basically, he's dissecting this person, and now he finds out that this soldier is not just a soldier. He's the prince of the European Federation, one of the former nations that fell during the Crimson Pain reckoning or awakening. And now Rifter, when he finds this out, he's about to finish him. And then who comes in? I love the setup. It's classic storytelling, classic, TV. And you turn, and who is it? It's Omega and Hellsate. And I love this layout right here. They look so badass. I've used it for my background on so many things. This image right here. And this one as well. I love this close up. The Hellsate, you kill it on Hellsate's design and Omega's design. And you see Banshee ready to take them out into this crazy fight. That was absolutely dynamic. I loved it. It shows Hellsate's rage. A lot of people love Banshee. A lot of people love Hellsate. It was cool to see them, take on each other in this issue. But super cool. Hellsate gets the upper hand because of Hybrid and beats down Banshee, and you think she's dead. And that's the whole point. If you don't see a kill confirmed, assume she's alive. Because, she gets her face melted off, and now she's back in episode 4 and 5, and she's scary, and she's cybernetic enhanced. And this was one of the first pages we did, too, because I really wanted to showcase something on the Kickstarter. I was new to Kickstarter. Now we've had 13 Kickstarters. You were my first Kickstarter, so it's wow, crazy to say.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah, and, I didn't know what to promote. I'm like, let's show the character. Let's show this. Like, I've learned so much from then, and this is one of my favorite pages because, love action sequences. And Omega shoots the energy, and this telekinetic wraps the energy up, kind of like a nice like Kamehameha, and just absorbs it, or like how like Yoda, absorbs the electric, like in Revenge of the Sith, like stuff.
That's right. Yep. Actually, I think that's kind of what I remember going for when I was drawing this panel. I kind of was thinking about that scene from Star Wars to
Yeah, I
kind of get
love.
inspiration for
Are
that.
you a big what your favorite Star Wars is what? Let's actually start there.
My favorite Star Wars film?
Yeah, yeah. So what is
Oh
your
gosh,
one? If
that's a
you could
tough
only
one.
watch one of these movies, which one is it?
I would have to say Rogue One. When I first saw that, I'm like, this is top tier. And then close second, Revenge of the Sith. Those are probably my top two favorites. Yeah.
Rogue One and Revenge of the Sith. I
Mm-hmm.
love it.
Join me, and I will complete your training.
I love Revenge of the Sith. Revenge of the Sith every new year is the first movie I play exactly at midnight. I don't go partying anymore. I wait till midnight and I play my Revenge of the Sith. And my wife knows what goes down, and we're super happy about that. But yeah, I love Rogue One too. I love that last 5 minutes when Darth Vader is showcased at his peak.
Mm-hmm.
Could be a movie of its own, and they'd make $1
Mm-hmm.
billion. I'd be there watching it every week if it's just a movie on Darth Vader. We do have some comments. First comment, Sheldon Martin. What is up, Sheldon? I appreciate you being here. And with that, you get a
Randy in position for another curb stop. Oh,
you get an RKO out of nowhere. I really appreciate you coming down. The shadows and lighting is pretty cool. Yeah, when he's, and I'm assuming you were talking about when he's absorbing the energy, it pops.
Mm-hmm.
Like having someone who does great lines and inks and having someone that can complement it with great colors really makes the book,
Mm-hmm.
And you did the lines and inks on all those pages,
Mm-hmm.
which is very tedious time,
Yeah, very
and
time consuming.
very time consuming. Now we're killing it with the cards. Rogue One, excellent choice. You have a Aaron Schauder 1905. Thanks for coming by. Thank you for agreeing with Kyle. And we appreciate you coming by. And with that, you get one of these.
Classic John Byrne Brown and tan. Now, you fought the Hulk in this outfit, no?
Nice.
Classic scene.
Classic scene. Can't get enough of Kyle's art and SWU. Favorite artist for the game for sure.
Oh wow, thank you so much. Really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because the artist pool for Star Wars Unlimited is pretty massive. From what I learned in Vegas with the Galactic Championship this past summer, there's at least 60 or 70 artists in the entire artist pool. So to hear that really means a lot. I greatly appreciate that.
Dude, look at this piece right here. This is
that was a Vader card I drew for set 5. First time I ever drew Vader for an official Star Wars project. It was very tricky. They are Fantasy Flight and Lucasfilm are very meticulous about the high-profile characters like Darth Vader or Luke Skywalker. Vader here, they really wanted me to get the helmet proportions and everything, all the details just right. And I understood that going into it. So it involved a lot of back and forth, making revisions between the rough sketch stage to the final colors. But they were pleased with the final result, and I could take a big sigh of relief when this one was done.
For revisions, how many revisions did this specific piece go through before the final product on your end? So just lines.
Trying to remember. I did this piece over 2 years ago now. I believe it went through 4 or 5 revisions between at least 4 or 5.
And that's good. That's good for artists to hear, so they know. There is a back and forth sometimes. Like I'm pretty sure every page you sent me, it just was taken. So but like everything you send me, I take right away, and it's mine. But sometimes things like this, especially when you're handling big IP like a Darth Vader, like a Luke Skywalker, it has to be iconic, and this is so iconic. This is so cool.
Thank you. Yep, really enjoyed working on this one.
We got a sweet, and is this traditional or digital from Sheldon Martin, Kyle?
So I do all my work digitally. I use Clip Studio Paint along with either my Wacom Cintiq tablet, which I have right here next to me. It's the 22-inch model that I've had since 2016. Still kicking somehow.
Still kicking.
And then I also use my iPad Pro when I have to work mobile, or if I'm if I'm someplace else, if I'm out of the house, not in my office space, I use the iPad Pro, and thankfully Clip Studio Paint is compatible on both, so I don't have to worry about not having some of my tools that I need to create my work. Luckily, Clip Studio is really easy to use on either device.
Nice.
So yeah, for aspiring artists or people who are looking for a new program to use, I highly recommend Clip Studio Paint. It's especially good for doing comic page layout because it has all the preloaded panel templates and page frame layouts that you can take, and you can customize all the panels and make them whatever shape you want. Programs like Photoshop or Procreate, they can't do things like that. So that's why I highly recommend it. Once I started using Clip Studio, I actually abandoned Photoshop and Procreate altogether, and now that's the main program I use.
Hell yeah, dude. Appreciate that. Appreciate the insight. We need to know these things. That is why we're doing streams like this. Should have me and Kyle done this 4 years ago? Sure, but we're doing it now, dude. We're doing it now.
Paul, you said you're new to streaming just recently, so that makes sense. And plus, 4 years is enough time for my art to kind of get in people's hands and for people to digest the visuals and stuff like that. So I'd say this is perfect timing.
Yeah, perfect timing. Like I said, we had, we did our first, it might have been your first Kickstarter too, right?
I think I had done a couple Kickstarters before that, but not too many.
Yeah, not too many. And, now you're killing it. You're doing Star Wars. You're on, you're doing some Marvel stuff. You've done some G.I. Joe stuff. Any other things you were working on as well?
In the past, I've also done, in addition to G.I. Joe, I've done some work for Atomic Mass Games and their Marvel licensed game, Crisis Protocol. Haven't done too much with them lately, but I have done some card art for them in the past. Right now, it's mostly, as I said earlier, Star Wars Unlimited and Marvel Champions, both under the same roof. They're both with Fantasy Flight Games. This is really the first time I'm working on two of my favorite franchises with the same game studio. So it's a blessing, and I'm thankful every day that I get to work with such amazing people and the art directors and other artists as well. Lots of great talent out there, and I feel very, fortunate to be a part of it all.
Yeah, it must be definitely surreal to be working on such iconic characters, and
absolutely
in a pretty much short period of time. Yeah, in 4 years you've done a lot. You know what I mean? Like, you've really expanded yourself as your own style. Even this one too. Like, I'm pretty sure that old Homelander Superman was around the same time as well, right? Of this book.
Yep, that was I think back in 2020 I did that one. So that was a good 5 years ago.
Is stellar. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you could see how much you've even improved even more, which is even crazier to say. And you got the new classic Superman against
after
Homelander.
Seeing James Gunn's Superman, which is fantastic, by the way. If you haven't seen it yet, I recommend it. It's definitely a strong revival to the DC universe after the Zack Snyder DC extended universe kind of fell apart and had a lot of problems over the years, and just storytelling issues and things left and right happening, and then it kind of just came to an end abruptly. So James Gunn, I feel like, was the right choice to head up the new DC studios. He's going to do it justice.
Yeah, I definitely like the Peacemaker stuff and everything that they're doing. I really like Superman. I did think it was better than anything DC's put out in a long time. I definitely thought it was better than Batman, so people could shoot me on that one, but that's me. And amazing. Back to this amazing piece to showcase it and bomb it all through. This is a big full circle moment. We're showing that these brothers, this is Lithium, our younger brother in Project Naosis, and Omega, the older brother who runs the unit, teaming up together to take on this villain Rifter. And this is such an iconic shot as well. I've used this for so many mini prints and prints. This punch from Lithium taking out Rifter. The extra POW helps the side effects as well. And, now they take out this character. Super gruesome. This was another favorite panel of mine, like the shot, of him just mocking them, even though he knows he's about to die. He doesn't care.
And he's already been beaten within an inch of his life, and he's just casually laughing it off.
Yeah, dude. And, we went crazy. And, this is the scene where you see that this isn't a superhero story anymore, that this is more a soldier mission with people that have powers. Like, he's like, jokester to the end, Thorn cap him. He takes out his legs, and Rifter lets him know the first Easter egg within Project Naosis. Basically, that there'll be a day where you'll see the truth, and then you'll understand what must be done. And it's a foreshadowing moment for Omega, because Omega doesn't know what he means. He knows he's there to take out this guy. And look at this. This is crazy.
Right through the face. Ugh.
Yeah, right through the face. Good riddance. And he's like, how did we never know who this character was? Like, why did we not know this character existed? And Omega brushes it off, but then tells his right hand Thorn to go look into it. And, later in that issue, Thorn finds out this information, and it's a classified file. And in the classified file, we see Rifter, this character over here, who, if you look through, you find out later, Electrite and Mutator. And this is the Project Naosis Unit 2. And, full spoilers ahead, this is Crimson Pain, so Crimson Pain, our main villain, which we find out later, is this character right over here. And Rifter unlocking this crazy Easter egg, that they weren't the first Project Naosis unit, and they just basically killed off one of the guys that were in their unit that they didn't even know existed. It takes a huge plot turn, and we hold on to this image for a long time as we're going through volume 2 and looking to wrap up volume 2, and we finally find out, and actually episode 6, this exact picture in what it means, and we had a lot of fun working on this issue. Super iconic. This is a super iconic picture for Project Naosis lore, and showing the high stakes as well, that, like I said, that Prince Zero character is out of action for numerous issues, for at least 4 issues, because he gets his ass kicked. But this was super fun to work on, Project Naosis. You killed it on it. I know you like saying it's early work, but it still stands out against one of the most top tier art that we have on the series. And it clearly shows with the things that you're doing right now with Star Wars and things like that. I see some more comments. Yeah, this guy ain't gonna show his face in the comic anymore. It's true, because once they die forever, and that's how it rolls. Let me see if I have something cool, something crazy, maybe something crazy.
Sheldon landing on his feet. Oh my God!
He really faced his fears. Yeah. And then hard to save face with a blast like that. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Thank you for all the comments. We're going to look now back into Kyle's amazing work in Star Wars Unlimited. You sent me a couple of images. I wanted to look through those. I know we just went over this Darth Vader piece, super iconic. Let's see what else we have here. We'll go through everything I have saved here. This is also another cover you did for Omega 2090 issue 1. We changed the color armor for Omega for this prequel series, which is actually now going to get repurposed into Project Naosis. I'm taking Omega 1 and 2 and I'm putting it into Project Naosis 9, so I'm definitely gonna, yeah, just because the Project Naosis sells better. Like the Lethal Leopard, the campaign we have up now is doing well as an issue 1, but I feel like the main purpose is keeping it stacked with the main series, and if I make spinoffs, do it with other characters. But this Omega 2090, and also for people that don't know, Kyle also designed this logo here.
Yep, that was fun to kind of come up with something
super cool,
something that was unique to this character here.
Yeah, for Omega, I remember we went maybe through 1 or 2 things, like we had it buffed out, but then we made it like this. You made this symmetrical, super cool. If you guys don't know, hit up Kyle, pay him some bucks, and he can do stuff like that.
Project Naosis, the 1 cover I did.
Yeah, and you still have some of the original ones, right?
I do, yeah. Somewhere.
So
somewhere
we remastered it now. It looks so different, and it's just we sold over episode 1. We sold at least over 3,000 copies of. But
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, for real. And this is a 40-page issue, Project Naosis episode 1. We have Julian Shaw on there, and we have Kyle, who kills it. And you could see all that work inside Project Naosis 1. We remastered it. We sold another 300 of them remastered. And then, of course, they're in the trade paperback, which right now we have the homage up for $25. For $25, you can get our first 4 issues. We still have that Black Friday sale going. Another cover you did for Project Naosis 2, which we're actually going to repurpose. I'll update the logo and the VV logo because we've changed it. You know, I'm just learning. You know, when we first did it, you know, we had to fill out, made it a nice box, looks way more professional. And but your artwork is killer on here because episode 2 is really a Valerie Vega hybrid issue, and you landed both these characters. I really love how you draw a hybrid. And
I think he was one of my favorites to draw out of the whole group of characters. Definitely enjoyed him the most.
Yeah, and the Wrath of Hades, you kill it. It's iconic. The motion that you put with it, super cool. Super cool.
Thank you.
Now, I'm not too familiar with all Star Wars lore, even though I am a super Star Wars diehard. Who's this character, man?
That is a droid from the Ahsoka Disney Plus series. It's I think it's an HK-87 assassin droid that we see right in the first few minutes of the first episode. There's actually a bunch of them, and they corner Ahsoka as she tries to escape. But yeah, I was given the assignment to draw one of these guys, and I really wanted to draw a scene with some perspective, foreshortening, you know, having the droid kind of lunging forward, about to, you know, push his staff outwards as if to attack. He's kind of getting ready to lunge forward at whatever target he's acquiring there. So this was a fun one. Droids are always challenging for me too, but you know, the end result's always worth the amount of work that goes into it.
Now, when you get a character that you have to draw, what is it like? Is it like they send you, hey, draw this guy, and they send you some images? Or is it, hey, here's the script, here's the character? How does it work?
So I get a brief description and a bunch of reference photos from my art director. It describes what the scene is and what character or characters are in the scene. So for this one, it was, you know, an HK-87 assassin droid hold its staff at the ready through these ruins. So I just took that, and then they are, you know, kind enough to always provide a lot of great reference photos. Yeah, so I go and take what references I need, and I pretty much go about the same process I described earlier. I lay out a rough thumbnail sketch that goes to the art director, and then goes back and forth. And you know, once that's approved, then I move forward to the pencils, inks, and then final colors. This one was one of my favorites from set 5. Big guy from The Mandalorian, Paz Vizsla. May he rest in peace. I believe he died at the end of season 4, if I'm not mistaken. It's been
during like that, they had like a big brawl or something, right? Something like that, right?
Yeah.
Now, this was super cool. I remember this is them on the island. Super cool. Love the designs of all the bounty hunters. I'm a big Mandalorian and Boba Fett fan. Are you going to be seeing the new Star Wars Mando movie?
Yes, absolutely. I've been waiting a long time for that, and that's finally coming out next May, I believe.
Yep. And who's this character? Is this one of the Darth Vader's minions?
That is one of the Inquisitors. They are affiliated with the Empire, and they're sent out to hunt down and kill Jedi. They do have, I believe they do have Force abilities, and they use the, I'm not sure what they're called. They're like spinning lightsabers, which I think are super cool, super intimidating too. And in the Ahsoka series, you actually see one of the Inquisitors use one of these. So this was a fun one to do. The prompt was, you know, the Inquisitors leaping and almost like flying using the spinning motion of his lightsaber.
Now, did you draw more than one Inquisitor? Is this the one they made you draw?
This is the only one I've drawn so far for the game. Who knows, maybe in the future I'll get assigned more of them to draw again. I love working on this one too.
Another character from the Ahsoka series, correct?
Yep, it's Captain Enoch. I believe he's the second in command to Grand Admiral Thrawn's Stormtrooper army. So I remember this one was challenging, especially the helmet, just getting the proportions down correctly. Helmets are always tricky to draw because you have to think about it's a helmet that goes over a human head. So, you know, an issue I used to have was I would draw the head or the helmet too small. But so I'd have to, you know, make it a little bit bigger to account for the fact that, you know, there's a human head under there. So, of course, with a helmet on, it's going to be a little bit bigger.
Yeah, this one really stands out. I definitely like this one a lot, and I love the show that one more time. I really love this Darth Vader one. And you said you did Luke Skywalker as well?
I've never drawn Luke for this game, not yet at least. Who knows what will come in the next coming sets, but we'll have to wait and see.
And when they hit you with a set, right? How many pieces do you usually do? Is it 5? Is it 7? Is it 10? Is it 150? How does that work?
150, that would be too much, I think. But when I first started out, the first set that I did work for, I believe I did 3 or 4 pieces. And now, fast forward to now, I just finished up set 10 along with the rest of the artists, and I did more than 10. So over time, I've gotten assigned more pieces to take on. You know, the better my work has gotten, they've allowed me to handle taking on more pieces per set, which I'm really stoked about, you know, because I love drawing all of these different characters and ships, most of which it's the first time I'm drawing these things. So it's a massive learning curve. And I almost kind of have to pretend like, oh, I've drawn this before, easy, even though I haven't really done so before.
Sheldon Martin 999. If you got hired to do G.I. Joe work, it would be a home run. But guess what, dude? Guess what? He's done some G.I. Joe artwork, and I just pulled up one really fast. I'll look at another one in a bit. But you've done some G.I. Joe Mission Critical. Tell me about some of this stuff that you were doing.
Yeah, so all this stuff was for Renegade Game Studios. I did some work on some of their Mission Critical expansions, some of the deck building games. I did some box covers, a whole lot of card art. Yeah, so I've done a good amount of different types of work, you know, between Marvel and Star Wars and G.I. Joe. So it's just been, you know, really, really fun experience getting to work with so many amazing people as well.
Now, I pulled up another one. This was cool. You did some box cover art for it as well. Is that what this is right here?
Let's see. Yeah, that was one of the box covers I did. I believe I did 4 or 5 box covers total.
Yeah, that's
for different games. There's another
killing it with the vehicles.
Yeah, I did a good amount of vehicle stuff, you know, similar to Star Wars. Also a mix of characters as well. Yeah, that was the most recent cover I did. I believe that was like over 2 years ago now, so it's been quite a while.
But yeah, he's done it, man. You guys got to look this stuff up. Make sure you order you get it from Play Renegade, right? Is that the company?
Yep. Renegade Studios, that's the one.
Yeah, check out Renegade Studios. They have tons of cool Kyle stuff along with us at Project Naosis. Make sure you grab it. And when you do grab the stuff, you got to make sure you let Kyle know. Make sure you follow him on Twitter, X, Instagram, TikTok. You on TikTok?
I'm not on TikTok, but I am on
Instagram.
X, Facebook and Instagram, yeah.
Any chance of a sneak peek at something from the next Star Wars Unlimited set from Aaron 1905?
Nothing yet for set 7, which is the one that just got announced at PAX Unplugged a few weeks ago. I did a good amount of card art for that set, none of which has been revealed yet, so it's going to be a little bit of a wait still. But in the next couple of days, I am going to share a couple of new Judge promo cards that I did earlier this year. They were kind of thrown in at the last minute, kind of like rush assignments. Those were finally posted up on the card database, so I'm going to share those on Instagram in the next couple of days.
Nice.
But yeah, you'll know that work's been spoiled when you see me post. Usually when I see the cards up on the card database or they're spoiled on Facebook or online anywhere, you know, that's usually a green light that, okay, I'm okay to post it.
Yeah, we're super excited to see all the amazing growth coming from Kyle. He's killing it. G.I. Joe, Marvel, Star Wars, Project Naosis. Anything else you're working on the horizon? Tell us about it. If you have anything, is there anything that you're like maybe work on, even if it's a year out? Like, what else are you doing?
Right now it's pretty much just Star Wars Unlimited and Marvel Champions.
Nice.
I haven't done any comic work in quite a while because since becoming a dad, I've kind of had to reevaluate some of my workload a little bit.
Yep.
And, as you know, doing comics is an extremely huge time-consuming task. And I kind of had to do what was best for my mental health and, for my family as well. So that's why right now I'm just sticking with the card art, because I still get to do what I love without completely burning myself out, which has happened many times in the past. So I'm happy to still be doing what I'm doing right now, because
for sure, locked in.
Burnout's no joke. So that's why it's always good to take rest too. Take a day, take 2 days, take a week sometimes if you really need it. Rest is just as important as the art itself, because without proper rest, you can't, perform at your peak, or you can't do your best work if you're exhausted or just burnt out from doing too much. So rest is highly important.
Aaron said new Judge promos. Yes, absolutely love the HK47 Judge promo art you did.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that was another one I did earlier this year, kind of like a rush assignment. And that one was just revealed online about a month ago, I think, or a month and a half ago. And like I said, I've got 2 more Judge promos that I worked on while working on that one that were just shown online, I think today or yesterday. So keep an eye out for those. I'm going to post those up as soon as I can.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So yeah, we pretty much hit all things. Make sure you check Kyle out. Make sure if you want to grab some amazing books, go to projectnaosis.com, and let's do a quick little refresh on that. You grab the trade paperback, you can get some of Kyle's work, or Project Naosis episode 1, where he showcased on the cover in Full Throttle. You can see all the amazing titles we had and some of the amazing covers that we've already went through in the process, like Kyle's Omega 2090 and episode 2. But with that being said, I really do appreciate your time. I feel like we're going to get a lot of views on this stream, on our rewatch as well. So super excited to have you on, discussing Project Naosis, discussing Star Wars, discussing Kyle, and we appreciate your time.
I really appreciate that. And thank you so much again for having me on the stream. Hope we can do it again soon.
We definitely will. More things to do on the horizon. And with that being said, you have a great day. Everyone else have a great day. And I will see you guys tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. I will have Kanan White on, who did one of my variant covers for Lethal Leopard. We'll be discussing all that. But we will see you guys next time, and I'm going to play our outro.
And that's all, folks.